moving off of a disappointing team to a team that does have some pretty high expectations this year, is how good or bad will the chemistry of Dame and Giannis be this season? For me, I think there's some improvements that both these guys need to make to really mesh, right? Both of these guys, before Dame was added, were the main focal points on their teams, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We saw growing pains, especially with Damian Lillard when they were first added together. And there has to be roles that both these guys play to take this team back to a high seed in the playoffs, second round, third round, whatever these guys are actually aiming for, which I know Giannis just had a quote out today saying something like, if we don't bring a championship back home this year, I might be traded or something like that. Giannis says some weird stuff sometimes, just kind of in one year, out the other.
I like how he says, I might get traded. Like he's talking like, they might move me. I don't want to go anywhere, but
it's like the oddest way to request a trade. For me, with those roles, I think that Damian Lillard, he's probably going to be the focal point on offense, right? He's the primary ball handler. He's the primary creator on the court. His biggest thing is his defense, his on-ball defense. It is what it is. It's not very good. He does have good hands, but he's a small guard, and you know that he's going to give some stuff up because of that. And Milwaukee's front office knew that and knows that when you're trading for him. It's not like Dame is a new player in this league. But when it comes to the off-ball defense, there is a litany of instances where Dame was ball watching and his man cuts to the rim or relocated to a different spot to shoot, and they're just open. It's a free open basket, and those free open baskets a couple of times a game, it adds up very, very quickly. It can't happen with the same type of frequency going forward. The focus between the off-ball defense and Dame has to be better in the second year going forward. And probably take some notes to some of the smaller guys in the league. Guys like Jalen Brunson led the league in drawn charges this past year. Lillard ranks like 79th, and they're smaller guards. If you can kind of bring some of that forward with yourself, it's going to be hard to change a guy who is as much of a vet as Dame is, and you're not going to change your game that much, as much of a vet as you are. But I think that has to be the primary thing for Dame. And for Giannis, it's going to have to be not being the focal point and getting used to that and helping Dame out, being a better screen setter. I know we're kind of picking small things out now when we're talking about Giannis, and it's like you're really picking on Giannis and doing stupid shit like picking on that. Yes, because guess what? The head is heavy, the one that wears the crown. Like, you're going to have to pick on the small things. So everything that Giannis is and how good he is his entire career. He's an MVP, he's a championship caliber player. Screen setting is the main thing for Dame. Creating space, creating opportunities for Damian Lillard is going to be a massive thing for Giannis. Those are the things I think they need to move forward with. I think their chemistry is going to be fine. I more have concerns about Doc Rivers and the head coach than their chemistry in this upcoming season. What about you?
Is Giannis going to stay healthy? And I feel like we could have just recorded myself saying, well, do you think he'll stay healthy? And I didn't even have to be present for this podcast because that's pretty much all I've said this entire time. But it just seems like some of the biggest question marks on some of these teams are their aging stars and if they're going to stay healthy. They flame out in the first round last year. They look awful. Giannis and Dame never got the time to mesh. I have zero belief in their head coach, which I know you just touched on, but I'm not exactly sure why, and that's coming from a Celtics fan. I'm not sure why people give Doc Rivers so much credit.
You hold on. You said it before. You said it about the NFL.
Yeah, give me props. Give me props.
Is like how much leniency and how much stock you get for winning a championship. Once you do that, like, I know we're switching sports, like Zach Taylor and the Bengals and stuff. We talked about that, how much stock and leniency he gets because he went to a Super Bowl. It's the same thing. Went to one. And it's like the same thing with Doc. Doc wins one off of the back of one of the greatest big threes of all time. And, and
overrated.
Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. And he gets to ride off the back of that, and that's where he's
you sit here and parade around all your championships. The Celtics won a bunch of their championships when there were 6 fucking teams in the league. Nobody's impressed.
Yeah, that's okay. When's the last time your team won a championship?
1956, they were the Rochester Royals.
Okay, there you go. Your dad wasn't even alive. What year was Grandpa born?
I don't know. He's
Yeah.
he's in his 80s though, so the 40s.
Yeah. So definitely doesn't remember it. That's for sure. But yeah, so what you're more concerned about, just the health of Giannis and the coach himself?
Yeah, I just 1951. Rochester Royals. That's pretty good knowledge, isn't it? Just to bust that off my dome. Listen, when you only got one fucking championship in your history, you better be educated about it. Oh, I'm the Celtics fans. We win every other year. Who cares? Okay, 1951. Suck it.
Yep, there it goes.
Hopefully, that'd be cool if they beat the Celtics in 1951. They didn't, by the way. Yeah, so Doc, he's super suspicious as a head coach. He's been that way for a long. He just keeps like
weaseling his way in.
What Doc Rivers team has impressed you since like Lob City? You know what I mean? And was it even that impressive, his coaching, or was it just Chris Paul coaching on the court? Yeah. And then how do you unlock Giannis at his best is with the ball in his hands and him going downhill as quick as he can. Now, if you want to stick Dame in the corner, I'm not sure if the pairing makes sense. I'm not sure if it ever made sense. These are two ball dominant like players, and you can't put Trae Young and Luka on the same team and expect it to work out well. The usage ratings are just too high between the two players.
Yep.
And I don't even really know if the Damian CJ McCollum thing ever worked out all that well. You know, they went to the playoffs a couple times, but
yeah, I'm
sure Bucks fans, if they catch wind of this, are going to be eating us up in the comments over this. If
basketball fans hate us,
which is funny because our basketball stuff gets so much traction. If Giannis returns to MVP form and Dame can get back to Dame time, then I do think there's a possibility for this team to make a little bit of noise. But at the end of the day, it's just got to be really depressing to be an Eastern Conference team and look at what the Knicks have put together and what the Celtics have put together and then what the 76ers did this offseason and just wonder, like, do we have enough? You know what I mean? Is Brooke Lopez still that guy? What kind of Chris Middleton do they get this year? Because there was a time where Chris Middleton was like, he's going to take this next step. His defense, his 3-point shooting, like what are we getting out of him this year? But besides that, it's just kind of, I don't know. There's not much to them.